Welcome to Porsha and Friends. I have my good friend Kenneth today with us. Today we're going to be discussing politics which affect the LGBT community and the statement dating trans women makes you undateable and more. Let's get into the first topic. Okay, so we have Florida lawmaker Randy Fine's attempt to ban pride flags fall short. An attempt by a Florida lawmaker to ban the flying of any political flags on federal buildings has died. In December, Randy Fine, then a Florida senator, introduced Article SB 100. If it passed, it would go into effect July 1st, 2025. In March, SB 100 advanced through the Senate Committee's affair on a 5-3 party line. However, on Monday, the bill was withdrawn from further consideration. Celebrating the news was queer Democrat Florida State Governor Carlos Smith. He tweeted, Randy Fine's bill banning pride flags from public buildings is officially dead. No one senator was willing to advance SB 100, which was just officially withdrawn from consideration. Randy Fine was a member of the Florida House between 2016 to 2024. He made a name for himself with his anti-LGBT rhetoric. So I think that's a win for us, right?
Well, so they're not banning the flags.
They're not banning the flag.
Yeah, because I'm like, how can you ban a flag and they have all other types of flags?
I know, it doesn't make any sense to me, you know?
They're Republican.
Of course, in Florida, they're going to be Republican. But it makes no sense to me to have them banning flags like the LGBT flag, transgender flags, or any other flag.
No, I agree 100%. I totally just wish they would get over themselves. Why do you want to trample on other people's rights? It's almost like, I don't get it half the time. It's just like, these are miserable people.
You're right. They are very miserable. But, the fact that they were even thinking of banning flags from public buildings was ridiculous. And especially with Pride Month coming up.
Yeah.
Which I think they want to do for Pride Month, but well, I say take the win.
Oh no, I mean, a win is a win, but I mean, the thing I don't like is just how these Republicans want to legislate, like discrimination. That's why, like, if you ever hear me talk, you've heard me always say, "Live and let live." I mean, it's like, does the LGBT community bother you that much? Yeah, no, I don't get it. Why they want to do things to, hurt another group of people.
I know. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's annoying.
Mike Johnson sleeps in the basement of an anti-gay pastor who BFFs with a guy who filmed trading videos of prostitutes. Republican Johnson rose from Congress back to become the House Speaker in late 2023 following the ouster of Kevin McCarthy, who seemingly dedicated his life to insinuating Matt Gaetz as a pedophile, which we already know he is, but that's beyond the point. Okay, over the last year and a half, Johnson has been little more than Trump's congressional bitch, ceding power to the Home Alone star in every negotiation. Most recently, he has happily dedicated Congress power of the purse as President Elon Musk and his apparatchiks fired tens of thousands of civil servants and slashed federal approved funding. When it comes to wielding influence in the Republican Party, it is clear that Johnson is at the bottom. In the sense, he's reported basement dwelling. Johnson has been staying in a 2-bedroom basement apartment of Steve Berger, an evangelical pastor who has been dedicating separation of church and state as a delusional lie. This 60-year-old is upfront about his ambitions. He wants to cultivate relationships with congressmen, so what they learn is translated into policy. Berger lives in a 6-bedroom, 3.7 million townhouse blocks from the Capitol. He reportedly hosted an array of right-wing figures in the ministry sector, including former North Carolina Representative Dan Bishop, who was just confirmed in the White House Budget Office. The pastor isn't shy about DC socializing. He posted a picture with Johnson on year of Congress, the first day of session. So basically, this pastor is hosting Mike Johnson because Mike Johnson and his wife are on the outs.
Oh, really? See, I mean, again, I hear about Mike Johnson, all the time because, he's, he's a he's a big defender of Donald Trump. It's like, I'm like, how far up his ass are you? I mean, it's like anything he says, it's almost like, oh well, that's the president. We got to fall in line with the president says.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know him and his wife were on the out.
Yeah, they're on the outs, and that's why he is sleeping in the basement of this conservative pastor. Yeah,
And this pastor's in D.C.
in DC. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you know my take on anything religious.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've told you mine for years, and I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, it seems like they're closeted, but and they hate their own,
I know, that's
and they
crazy.
want to do stuff to legislate, things, laws against, the LGBT community. I mean, now that article, is that from a credible source?
Yeah, it is. It is from code source.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but see, at the end of the day, I don't care if you're gay, Mike Johnson. I don't care. It's just like, just don't do things to, hurt people like me or the community I'm a part of.
I mean, he's gonna do something to the LGBT community, because that's all Republicans want to do is stuff to hurt the LGBT community.
Oh, well, I mean, they want to hurt, a lot of communities. That's why I don't get why people vote Republican. I mean, it's like you either have a Democrat or you have a Republican. I mean, I don't get, people act like they have this big choice. I'm like, which party is gonna fuck you over more? And to me, just for me, it's the Republican Party.
Yeah,
I mean, spare me that, oh, they're good for business and all that other stuff. It's not that the Democrats hate business. They just want businesses paying their fair share.
I know.
But I mean, like I said, I could care less about MAGA Mike Johnson. I just like, yeah, just don't, I don't think any politician should be doing anything, you know, to legislate things that hurt, a marginalized group. Or just anybody for that matter. Because I don't get why you want to trample on somebody else's rights, but you don't want nobody to trample on yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now this brings me into the next topic, and which I came up with on the fly. And what are some valid reasons you think why Republicans want to go after LGBT people?
See, again, I mean, well, see, the Republican Party, they play to the evangelicals or the Christian right and all that other stuff. And of course, they say, oh, homosexuality is a sin and all that other stuff.
But most of
I
them are
mean,
homosexual.
yeah. I mean, you hear that. I mean, again, I'm not saying I have no proof of that, but it's just like you hear that, and it's just like a lot of these Republican Congress people get caught up in scandals and stuff like that, with other men, and it's like, come on, it's like, stop it.
I think another reason why some of them want to come after the LGBT community is because they're afraid to be themselves.
I can understand that. Yeah, no, I mean, some people are, but I mean, but why? Just because people want to live out and proud and be who they are, it is what it is. I mean, does it disgust you that they do? I mean, I don't know, but even if it does, it's like, why do you care? Again, I'm with the saying, live and let live. It's like people just want to live their lives. People don't want, obstacles, put in front of them where, because I'm, gay or trans or whatnot. Like it's a law, that you can't do this.
I heard at the Republican National Convention, some of these trans girls went down there to DC and they were on Grindr and
Well, I don't think it was in D.C., was it?
or wherever it was.
The national convention, yeah.
Yeah, wherever it
But
was.
no, I heard the same thing, and a lot of them said, "Oh yeah," they said they made a lot of money that
Yeah,
weekend,
they did.
or that week, you know, because a lot of their clientele was,
Exactly, they're Republican.
Republican Congress people. So it's like they're a bunch of hypocrites.
They are.
But you know what? It just goes to show that they're hypocrites, to their constituents because, they or their donors, because a lot of their donors may, not agree with, the LGBT community, but they feel like they got to toe a certain line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I don't care. I mean, you know how I feel. I think everybody's gay when I
You think everyone's gay?
well, especially today, I'm just like, 'cause, what, like I think a previous conversation when you're talking about how these apps have ruined a lot of things because it's just like you see all walks of life. This image that society has of, and I'm just speaking, you know, from like somebody being gay. It's not what you think. You'd be surprised. Some of the people you don't think are gay are gay.
Now, what would you say is what would you say is the percentage of deal men who are on the down low and mess with either trans women or gay men?
A percentage?
Yeah, percentage. Just an estimated
I
percent.
mean, that's hard. I mean, so you said what's the percentage of DL men
DL men,
that mess with transgender?
transgender or gay men.
Okay, man. I mean, see, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to just say half because then that's me half the
Yeah,
country.
half is a
No,
little
I don't want to say half.
unrealistic.
But see, again, if you have to look in even if you just take, let's just say where we are, our own state alone. I mean,
Or what percentage out of every 10 men would you say?
out of 10 men, we'll see. See, out of 10 men, then I'm gonna say half.
You gotta say half.
Yeah, or if you want to say what it's a 70-30. I mean, where 30% messes with trans, or yeah, I really don't know, but I mean,
I well, I would say, you know, for for all types of men who mess with men, you know, gay men, bisexual men, um, any other type of man who likes to go after trans women. I would say combining all of them together, it would be like around half. Yeah, for at least New York State. I don't know about other states.
Well, yeah, because you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I mean, I don't know what it is. Like with like I said, with a lot of these apps today, and you see them, and it's just like, again, I don't want to say there's a look. Well, see, again, because I'm speaking from the gay lens, but yeah, I mean, it's. But when they talk about the gay community or just the LGBT community alone, what do they say? It's what? It's not a big percentage of the whole country.
Yeah, you're right.
But you have people, in power who want to, who want to discriminate against that community and do things to put laws on the books that, oh, they can't do this, or this, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if you ask me, do more DL men mess with transgender or gay men today? I can say the percentages is high. Because, in society we have this thing, well, it's accepted, so, people feel like, oh, well, sexuality's fluid, so, I like what I like, so I'm gonna mess what I like.
Yeah, like a guy who comes over here on a regular, he's a straight man who, well, I guess a DL man who.
Yeah, because again, I can't call you straight. Regardless if you're married and have kids, you're bisexual. I know people don't like labels and stuff like that. I mean,
Most people do not like the label. They wouldn't like the label bisexual because they think I'm a
but
straight
why?
man. I'm a straight man.
But you're straight. So see, then I feel like this whole thing with sexuality, gay, straight, trans, or whatever, then we need to throw it out the window, and people just like what they like, because I always say we're going to call a thing a thing. We just do. It's this thing, like when people say, "Oh, what are you?" and you'll be like, "I'm a human being." I'm like, clearly I know that, but it's like, stop it. We have to call a thing a thing.
Yeah.
And, guys who, who don't like the term bisexual, or even guys that are gay, so you got some gay people who don't like the term gay. They'll say, "Oh, I'm queer."
Okay.
I mean, to each his own.
I
I
mean,
mean, yeah,
but if you ask him, he's like, I'm a straight male, and
okay,
I
I
could
mean,
tell him you're bisexual.
okay, you're telling me that, but I mean, yeah, well, see, to him, he's a straight man. But then I'm like, well, see, again, I'd rather you not even tell me you're a straight man,
Why do you say that?
because you're not. I mean, if you're a DL man, and I'm not even saying just having relations with somebody trans, but even just having relations with somebody gay. Just because you live the quintessential, American life, married with a women and children, that don't mean, okay, yeah. In the eyes of people who don't know you really, yeah, they'll say, "Oh, he's straight." But what you do in the dark, yeah, you engage in, gay shit or trans shit.
Yeah, I mean, he likes getting his butt licked.
I mean, like I said, then we need to throw sexuality out the window and just really, yeah, it's fluid now. Everybody just
I mean,
likes
everyone's
what they like.
doing what they're doing.
No, I know, but it's almost like they want to do what they want to do with no labeling a part of it.
Yeah, and when they look at you at, as a, you know, as a gay or me as a trans person, they're like, "Oh, I don't want the gay."
Well, yeah, because see, we're living out and proud. They're living, on the DL or in the closet. Where, because see, I feel like there's a fear that, oh, if somebody knows, Well, see, again, we know I mean, the LGBT community as a whole knows that how, yeah, people who finally come to terms with their, this is, and it is what it is, there's I don't want to say stigma, but you know how you're going to be treated in society. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to think a lot of people are open minded and people just look at you as a human being. I mean, your sexuality is just a piece of you. It's not who you are. It's not like I walk around saying or I introduce myself like, "Hey, my name is Ken. I'm gay." I mean, it's like, come on.
I
You
mean,
know.
that's an interesting topic that you bring up because, when I walk out in the street every day, I'm like, well, I don't go out every day, but I'm saying when I go out in the street every day, it's still back in my mind. I'm trans, but you know, some of these people don't think I'm trans.
We'll say again because I mean, I feel like in the back of your mind, somewhat like how you see, like you're looking at it, I guess, from some perspective, like how they see you.
Yeah, I am.
And to the conversation about that guy, it's like, or people who are on the DL, they don't want that labeling because there is an inherent fear. I think people who have come to terms with I'm gay or I'm transitioned and this is how I'm living my life and this is how I'm gonna go out in the world, you know. It, yeah, I mean, I feel it's fear with people who are on the
I
DL.
mean,
It's it's
it's
it's
not,
an inherent fear.
it's not overall. I don't have a fear of going out
No,
as.
not you.
I'm
I'm not
just
saying you.
saying I don't have a fear of going out as me. You know,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking like, oh, some of these people are thinking XYZ. I still have a little bit of that. I still think that a little bit in my head, but I
Hmm.
don't give a shit. I don't give a
Well, no,
shit.
and that's the thing. I feel like you shouldn't. It's almost like I was at a store. Now again, I don't want to say all gay people talk with their hands, but it's funny. I was in the store talking with my hands, and I was watching the lady's eyes because she was looking at my hand. So in my mind, for a minute, I was like, I wonder if she wonders like, is this dude gay or whatever? But again, I get what you're saying. In the back of your mind, you do feel like are these people looking at me a certain way or judging me a certain way? But you don't. You accept who you are, and you're living out and proud. I mean,
Yeah,
and to me, people
I
and
am.
people should be able to. People shouldn't have to. I mean, if you want to, live in the closet and yeah, but see, I feel like it's going to be a point in your life. It it is. I feel like that's gonna come a point in your life where that guy who's on the DL, his wife's gonna probably find out that they want to get divorced.
Well,
That,
come
yeah, it
after
is.
me. If she
Huh?
if she knew it was me, she'd want to come after me.
I mean, yes, but I mean, I'm not gonna say she would want to come after you. Because it's not like she knows you. I mean, she'd be more mad at him, I would think.
I've had certain people who, let's say, I've outed, you know,
What?
not intentionally, but the random girlfriend calls me up and says, I saw you were texting my man and blah blah blah.
Oh, that's happened?
Yes, that's happened to me at least 4 times.
Oh,
Ever
well, see,
ever
evidently.
since I've been trans, this has happened to me. And they're like, oh, the last person who happened to, you know,
But do they know? They don't know you're trans.
no, they could figure it out from the conversation. The last person who I'm gonna say, came to my party, right? He
Mm-hmm.
came to my party one time and then he wanted to hook up after that. We had
Mm-hmm.
conversation back and forth
Mm-hmm.
and he came over here and we did our thing. And then his girlfriend found out and she was like, oh no, I think this happened before he came over here. um, she's like, my man. I'm like, who's your man? I mean, like, and she's telling me it was this guy, and then I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I I just I I have so many guys come over here, so I'm like, I don't know
Don't
what.
say it like that.
Okay, I won't say it like that. I'll say okay. I'm like, who is the guy? And then she shows me a picture. I'm like, I didn't mess with him, and I should have told her that, but I said I didn't mess with him, and she's like, who did?
But okay, but what I'm saying is she knew. So I guess from the
Yeah, from the
conversation,
conversation.
she could tell that he was going to a party,
Yeah, she could tell that.
and she knew it was a trans party.
Yeah, she knew that.
Okay,
But and then after I told her, I kept it upfront with her. I told her, your man wants to come over here and do whatever. And then afterward, luckily he wasn't mad, because some of these guys, that.
but when you okay, so he wasn't mad, but did she? So then she had to confront him about
Oh yeah,
okay,
she
what are
confronted him
you
about it, and
as far as being what bisexual
yeah, but
or whatever?
then that made him mess with trans women after that.
So he's not in a relationship with her anymore.
No.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's why they're on the DL because well, to me, he wants to have his cake and eat it too. Well, see, once it's out in a well, once the cat is out the bag, there's nothing he could do.
Yeah, he's like, okay, you is fuck is a fucked up thing you did, but when can we get together?
He said well. See, again, I don't see it being what because what you responded. I mean, well, I mean, okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I
I mean,
mean, it was my bad for responding, and if this situation comes up again, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, I don't know the person, regardless of our conversations. I'm gonna be like, I don't know the person,
yeah.
because I've had that happen like 3 or 4 times, and every time I put guys business on blast. So you know, I don't want to be like one of these messy transsexuals who outs tons of guys like that.
No, I get it, but well, luckily she didn't, try to confront, like, personally, confront you, but, shit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, but what's that saying? What's in the dark usually comes to the light.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it's
does.
like, I mean, it eventually does. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to. If you are on the DL and you trying to live both lives, you better be on point,
Yeah, you got it.
because eventually you're gonna get sloppy and it's gonna come out.
Yeah, and this other guy, I think I gave him oral, and this is the first time I came out as trans, as a cross dresser, but I I gave him oral, and he was like, okay, and I kept it moving. But then maybe a month later, his girlfriend calls me up, and she's like, why did you mess with my man? I'm like, again, I say, who's your man? And
These guys are sloppy.
she's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And she sent me his photo. I'm like, uh, and then it was a big thing. But I don't know if that relationship broke up, but you know,
Yeah, well, they need to keep tighter restrictions on their phones.
yeah, of course you should, and especially if you have a girlfriend. If you have a
Yeah,
girlfriend, you should always keep.
you better keep your phone near you.
Yeah, especially if you're messing with men or trans, you gotta have it in you, or
Okay,
delete the
we'll say
messages
again.
on the fly. You know?
Yeah, well, it's like that incident where the one guy wanted to fight at one of your parties because someone tried to give him a hickey.
Yeah.
And he was like, I have a whole girlfriend. And it's like, I mean,
I'm like, and this is a gay party, and I'm like, you have a girlfriend and you're a gay party? I'm
yeah, it's
like,
like, I
make
mean,
that make.
yeah, I don't get. I mean, but see, again, people want to have their cake and eat it too. And again, if if you're, again, the only conclusion I can come to is that there is an inherent fear, if they're outed and stuff like that. Because, if you're bisexual and your significant other knows that, then, they don't care. I mean,
I
I
mean,
always have a damn,
I can count on
what
my hand, on one hand, the number of people who are bisexual and their girlfriend knows about it. With two fingers.
well, see, I only can say,
Two
yeah. I mean,
fingers or less.
I can count on my hand, and again, and I don't know them personally, but they always hit me up, and they evidently I'll just call them swingers because they say, are you bi? And I'm like, no, and and he's like, oh, well, my wife can watch. I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
I tried the swinger thing once. It
no,
wasn't for me.
yeah,
It wasn't for me. Yeah. But before I was being more open, yeah, on the man, even though I was masculine gay or whatever, I have to admit that I was full of fear and anxiety around so many issues that were associated with being trans. One of those things for sure being if women were not trans, know that they trans women would have something they being on. Now, if you're a gentleman who only wishes to date trans women, and that's cool. I guess this conversation doesn't really apply to you. And I'll see you next week. But if you're among those of us who dates a broad spectrum of women, then I'm here to tell you long story short that the answer is yes. And no. Are there women who look at that as a deal breaker? I mean, of course. These women usually include, but are not limited to, very religious women, very traditional or conservative women, people who support trans women superficially, but are still transphobic, meaning, for instance, they'll get their hair or makeup done by the girls. The gas queen slay comments on Instagram, so like the pictures. Whatever comes down to what could be perceived as a competition for male attention, it's like, well, if that's what you want, then I don't want nothing to do with you. You know, transphobic on the low type folks. Then there are women who are openly unapologetically transphobic on some it is what it is type stuff. And of course, women who just all around don't really fuck with you in general. And I think that it's very important to pay attention to that last group of women, especially. Because even though I attempted for forever to be for everybody, and sometimes still wish that I could be, the reality of the world is that unless your name is Drake, you can't please everybody. And in the words of the great Jill Scott, you know what they say everything ain't for everybody. I sure did try though. So it could be your hair. Some women don't like long hair or locks on men. Some women don't like short hair. It could be your body type. Some women don't like muscle dudes. It could be your beard or lack thereof. It could be your height, your salary, your taste in music or food or movies, the kind of jokes you make, your background, your race, your accent, your way of dressing. Basically, what I'm driving home here is that, no matter what you do, you'll never be able to make everybody love you. So you're better off just doing you. And the people who genuinely rock with your energy are going to see that and be attracted to it. That way, you're not going around trying to perform some shit, being a damn Pinocchio on strings, acting out a role, trying to fake your way into somebody's draws. That's whack.
just be yourself. Because generally speaking, the only women who really couldn't rock with me after I told them were people who didn't as much like me for me as much as they liked the idea of me coming into their life and playing a certain role to make them happy, as opposed to taking the time and enjoying the wholeness of my being and allowing for love to grow from a place of truth and reality, not some rom-com, sugar-coated, love and basketball, Shakespearean version of the way that she thought it was supposed to be, according to romance novels and movies. So I've had lovers ask me genuine questions, yeah. You know, ones that were not loaded and not out of malice or ill will as much as just that they were keeping it real. And the reality of it is, when talking about partners that are LGBT, many people's minds immediately fall on concerns about STDs or STIs, to which I've had to reassure them that any person who is sexually active with partners whom they don't know particularly, that is not taking care of their own sexual health, is at risk for anything. But it's not as much men who are being open as much as it is men who are made to feel that they have to be down low because they're more prone to participate in higher risk sexual conduct, being that they have to sneak and they don't always know when or where they may be able to access that part of themselves again. So it's either those concerns or something along the lines of, well, if you like that, then honestly, I just don't see what it is that you see in me then. And the answer is, I mean, I don't know, your personality, maybe, your energy, how well we vibe when we kick it, how much of that time of us together is spent laughing or engaging in meaningful dialogue, your cuteness, your smile, your hair, your voice, your femininity, your intellect. There's much more that goes into creating a genuine vibe with someone than just purely those lips that you got down there. But will there be women that you honestly find attractive that may sort of shy away from you as a result of your truth and openness? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I feel like the respect that you'll gain for yourself by being a man of your own principle is much more rewarding than any short fling, no matter how much potential sex could have been had as a result of it. Because if you're any man that's any man, you're not really running around chasing tail anyway. That's boy stuff. This is man time. So more so, you focused on building or maintaining your own value, growing your own business or network, your income, your skills, understanding your own worth and talents and all of the things that you have to offer this world. You setting goals and planning towards them, crushing, always moving and looking forwards, not backwards, at people who are not on their own grind anyway. So go on, do you, be you. Love who you want to love, whether they be trans or not. And if people have a problem with that, make it their problem, not yours. Because I can guarantee that if you were to die today or tomorrow, that those people who seem to be so invested in your life would not be there as pallbearers at your funeral. They would not be there to help your family to get your affairs in order. And they would not be there to lay you to rest. So understand that it sounds easier said than done. And we are all guilty of it at one point or another. But please, bro, do not let these raggedy motherfuckers steal one more minute of your life and your joy. God.
Okay. That was a powerful message. Did you hear it?
No, I heard it. So basically, I take it let's see,
He
what
dates trans women
he dates trans women.
as well as regular women.
Mm-hmm.
And
And regular women don't accept it.
regular women do not accept it. But he said,
No offense to the word regular, you know what I meant.
yeah, cis women. But I gotta be careful with that because some women don't like being called cis women.
Well, no, they don't. I mean, they don't. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Well, I mean, you gotta have identifier in front of you gotta have an identifier because you could talk about women as a whole, but trans women are women too.
Well, yeah, but see, we had that conversation before where, like I said, like how some people will still want to call you because they know that you're transgender, they will still try to call you a guy.
Yeah.
And I always, yeah, so I mean, so for me, how you present yourself to the world, that's what I'm going to call you. Now, if I call you a she and you're like, I'm a he, I mean, now you're confusing me. If you're presenting yourself to the world the way I'm looking at you right now, I'm going to say she. I mean, I can get the argument, you know, I mean, you got dudes in the gay community. They always want to be talking like girl. I'm like, I'm a boy.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
and
they're called femme boys.
No, I know, and I get it, but it's just like, look, I'm not your typical gay guy. I just happen to be gay, but I am not the quote unquote commercial gay guy that America still thinks exists.
Yeah, so he talks about the fear of judgment, about trans women and, some of the cis women not being cool with that. And, you know, and he's saying to some guys need to hide themselves, and, they can face a lot of fear of judgment from that, right?
I mean, so it's well to me, it's like, I mean, so what? He wants, so he messes with both, trans and biological women.
Biological, yeah.
I mean, well, that's up to the person. Okay, if you like to mess with both, trans and biological women, I mean, you really got to let the biological woman, I'll just say, because it seems like the trans woman doesn't have a problem with you messing with her, but it seems like some biological women may have an issue.
And he says he's open with all of his partners.
Okay, he's open with all of them. But yeah, okay, if he's open with all of them, yeah, then he really has to leave it up to the partners or a potential partner for them. Like, are you accepting of this or not?
And he says that, of course, some women think there's STDs and all these other things that they can potentially get from messing around with gay men.
No, I mean, I get that, but to me, I get that, but I mean, to me, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, you got to give them the choice. Now, if they're not down with it, I mean, you can't force them to be down with it. I mean,
No, I mean,
I appreciate him or people like him being upfront. Not trying to be like some of the guys we've mentioned who want to be on the DL.
Yeah, he's not on the DL. So I appreciate that. And he also addresses personal growth, and he said, you gotta like who likes you.
Yeah, I agree. You do, and you do have some people who are accepting. I mean, like I said, you have what bisexual men who date bisexual women, and they know what it is. Every now and then, one of them go have a hankering for the other sex, or want to invite them into the room.
But I think it's a really two-sided thing because it's okay for a woman to be quote unquote bisexual, but it's not okay for a man to be quote unquote bisexual.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's that's how society looks at it. It's almost like, yeah, like society is is more accepting of lesbian women and stuff like that.
Yeah, not gay men.
Yeah, I remember a comedian said, they said, he said if he came home and he saw his wife in the bed with another woman, he'd be like, move over. Where if it was, where if a woman came home and saw her man in the bed with another man, she'd probably be trying to kill them both. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I guess like you said, rock with who likes you, and I think that is, I don't want to say bold, but I think that's honest of him, to say this is who I am. I'm bisexual. I like, women, biological women, and I like, trans women.
I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, but you got to give the other person the choice. I mean, like I said, I feel like some people see where the whole thing with the STDs and things come through. It's like it's like, I mean, you would hope everybody's taking care of their personal health.
Of course, yeah.
But you know, you got a lot of people out there who engage in unprotected sex,
Yeah,
and
of course.
they're not on the new drugs like, well, they've been around a while, but like prep or doxy prep or whatever. So, you know, I mean, and I'm not saying people should go out and just be having unprotected sex, but I'm just saying I can understand where, if you want to say from the woman's standpoint, but yeah, I mean, I would think you know, because that's always the thing, you know, like if a man you know, has a girlfriend, but he's messing with men and they're not using protection, there is a potential that he can bring something home,
Yeah,
you know, but, you know, you would just hope, you know, all parties involved are protecting themselves.
yeah,
Yeah. And you would hope that, okay, if you are a guy on the DL and you mess with women and you have a girlfriend, you should really be using protection. Don't be, you know, to where you may have unprotected sex with your girlfriend, but let's say you're having unprotected sex with another man, and let's just say he has a STD, then you're bringing it home to her, and to me that isn't right. So to me, you should always be using some type of protection.
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna look at a quick video. It's very quick. It's like
I mean, are we looking at it or listening
I
to
will
it?
listen to it. It's very quick. Um,
Okay.
it's like maybe less than 50 seconds.
Well, see, I don't know what it is if we really try to look at it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to describe it.
Can you hear?
Well, yeah, I'll probably be able to hear it, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
To this and that, to always try and label something and always try to, oh, you're gay if you date a trans woman or this. No, absolutely not. Because what they end up short, because we're to this and that, to always try and label something and
Okay.
Okay, so this is a woman talking to someone.
This is a trans woman talking to, I guess it's a gay man.
Okay, and I hear like she's saying, you know, trying to label something.
Yeah, so it so the video says, is a straight man gay for dating a trans woman?
Is a straight man gay for dating a trans woman?
Yeah.
Yes, because he's gay. I mean, I don't know I mean, because then what is he then? What is he then?
He's bisexual.
Oh, well, see, okay. Well, see again, because I know we had a previous conversation. Yes, no. Well, he is. You know what? I'm about to throw my arms up and be like, you know what? Just be happy and be with who you want to be with. Because no, I get it where you come. Okay, I get it where you're coming from. Because okay, the way you present yourself to the world, you present yourself as a woman. So if let's just say, okay, let's just say it's me and you. I'm gay. You're transgender. Would people? What would I do? I'm not bi because I don't. I'm not bi. Okay, just because I get it. I get where you're coming from because okay, I'm messing with you because you present yourself to the world as a female. But
Now
I
going
mean, I
back
don't.
to the other guy, the married guy.
Well, see.
So
Then where
what
this
would you classify him?
no, because see, then where this conversation is going is the argument of biological versus trans.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying you are, but to me, that's what it sounds like because you're saying, okay, the bisexual guy who's messing with, you know, he's married
Mm,
to a biological woman and he dips out on the relationship and messes with a trans woman.
yeah.
You're saying, like, what? You're saying, what's the difference?
I mean,
Yeah, he's bi. He is bi. But I mean, it's like, okay, because I mean, he's.
I mean,
See again.
now I'm not sure of this, but when he was in jail, I think he messed around with gay guys too. I'll just say,
You know. Well, see again. I'm gonna call him bi then. But see, cause see, the thing is, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it gets. You'd be surprised. You know, even like some of my straight girlfriends who have questions. You know. About let's just say the transgender community and stuff like that. And they'll ask me, and I tell them I have friends that are transgender and what they've explained to me. But to me, I don't know. I just feel like I can't. Again, if I'm dating you and I'm
but you're
gay,
gay, so you would be gay. You're gay.
I would still be gay dating a transgender
I
woman.
mean, but is the straight man, is he gay for dating a trans woman?
What?
That was the question. Is straight man gay for dating a trans woman?
We'll see. We'll see again. I'm gonna go into the whole. I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole of because the way you're having sex,
I mean,
if the transgender female does not have she didn't go through the whole
okay,
procedure,
yeah.
you're essentially you're essentially having gay sex in some regard. I mean, again, the whole LGBT were part of the whole community together.
I mean, so what happened if I went through the whole surgery?
Oh, the whole surgery,
Yeah,
and would I still say is he?
yeah,
Well, you've told me that if you got the whole surgery done, you are a woman.
basically, yeah.
Yes. Now, even on the how you present yourself to the world, I'm still calling you a woman, regardless if I would know what you got between your legs.
Okay.
But
But when you're labeling him,
but when I'm labeling, yeah, but when I'm labeling him, we'll see again. If you did the whole surgery and he's with you, then you know what? Then I guess, and he's never messed with
those
a gay
say
man.
say just say randomly one day you stopped over when he was here and you met him and he says he's straight man. So
Well, then I
would you
and know that you got the complete surgery.
no and knowing that I don't have the surgery.
Well, see, I'm gonna.
So you tell him to his face
I
he's
would tell him
bisexual.
because I'm not arguing with him. I'm not arguing with him over his sexuality because to me that's one thing I find it's almost like trying to get people believe, with the belief of God and stuff like that. You'll be having arguments. I have arguments with people over religion all the time, and I'm like, well, how do you know there's a God? And they say, I just know. But I'm like, have you ever seen? No, I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't argue with somebody as far as you know again, I'm not calling them delusional, but if you believe you're strong, okay, it's not me. It's not me. Again, I feel you're. I don't know. I mean, it's not that I don't care. It's just, but I have to say, but at the end of the day, I don't. I mean, it's like I don't. If you want to mess with trans women, that's fine. I just would hope if you are messing with trans women, regardless if they've had the full surgery or not, and you do have a whole girlfriend, I'm just gonna say I would hope both. All parties involved are using protection. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and we do.
So that's my whole thing, I mean, but him calling himself I mean, if you want to be straight, then call yourself straight. If that makes you feel good because you don't want to be called gay, you
Who
know.
wants to be called gay?
But see, even you saying that, who wants to be called gay? It is what it is.
I mean, even though I know what it is, but who wants that label on them, that stigma on them? Oh, you're gay.
But see, to me, then you know how like people say that's a you problem, meaning like that's a society problem. Just because I label myself, I mean, it's not even saying I'm gonna have to label myself. Society's gonna call me gay, or they're gonna call me worse things than that. They're gonna
Yeah.
use the F. They're gonna use the F word.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I mean, it's like, or I mean, say faggot, homo. They're gonna say that. So it's like
Yeah.
I
You got a
get
good point.
I get people don't want to they don't want to label themselves, but I mean, like I said, we're going to label everything to the end of the earth. I'm sorry that you may feel like, oh, I'm just me and all this other stuff. Yeah, you're just you, but we're going to call you something. And if we know you mess with other men or, you know, transgender individuals that that don't happen to, I guess if you want to say fully transitions, I don't care. Like I said, you're my friend. I accept you, for who you are and how you live your life. And
Thank you.
I'm I'm respectful of you. Where I know if somebody was calling you a he in front of me, I'm like, no, I'd be like she. I get this argument where people like it's like they want to fight you because they know. Yes, they may unless you're like you say passing where they can't tell. It's almost like it's almost like you're trying to condition them to call you a she when they clearly know you were biologically born a guy. But I'm like I said, what's wrong with being decent and calling someone how they present themselves to the world?
I know. I mean, it's the respectable thing to do, but some people have this issue, and especially black people. White people are more, um,
I mean, I don't want to do that to all black people, but I hear you.
I mean, I'm not saying some black people will call me, ma'am or she or her.
Yeah. No, I know what you're getting at because I'm just saying I'm trying to save you a headache of comments. You say, "Oh, you trying to say all black people and all that other stuff?" Yeah, so I mean, no, I don't
I
think,
mean,
but I know.
I'm not saying all black people, but
No, I know.
I'm saying a majority of them are kind
No,
of,
I get it. There's a percentage that will,
especially
because
in
they
my
know.
area, going in my area, people will
No,
misgender
no,
me.
I get it. No, well, again, you live amongst people that look like you. So no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
but
mean,
no.
sometimes people are nice and will call me a ma'am or her, but you know, and that's the reason I wanted to get my documentation completely changed because
Yeah, yeah.
you know it was kind of it was hard going out as a a quote unquote guy, and when I that wasn't what I my um
So because so you have been going out to public how you present yourself
yeah.
now. Oh, okay. Well, no, I applaud you for that.
I mean, ever since last August,
Oh, okay. I
I
didn't know that. Okay, okay.
ever since last August I went out as Porsha.
Oh no, that's good. I mean,
So
to me,
I want to get my name changed because it was very hard going out as Porsche and then presenting a credit card was
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
my old government name.
Yes.
So
No, but no,
I just went
that's
to the
no.
DMV and got
Well, you didn't tell me that. Well, I figured that's what you were doing when you told me that. But no, that more kudos to you for doing that. I mean, no, you have people at the end of the day. I keep on saying have to be happy, and
yeah.
you told me what were doing. Yeah, like I said, as your friend, if this makes you happy, then I support you.
Yeah,
And
it
to
does make
me,
me happy.
yeah. So people at the end of the day, people have to be happy. But see again, you got motherfuckers in society who because they really know they just want to be disrespectful. I mean, like I said, what's the harm of you just saying ma'am or she and stuff like that?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah, but some people they feel like you're telling them what to do,
Mm.
and I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is why we have the problems in the world we have.
Well, I I want to get it done because, so when I hand the credit card, at least say Porsche on it.
Well, no, I get it because you don't want them to think you're stealing either, too.
Well, they could, I mean, they can pretty much tell that I'm presenting as a female.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. But again, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
They could think it's a credit card fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, but I get it. Or just in case you got to show your ID, and stuff like that. No, I get it. I get it. And stuff. I just feel like, I mean, see, like I said, that conversation, that short clip you let me listen to, as far as the person saying if a person is, what, if they're gay
Yeah.
and they're messing with somebody who's trans, does that, what does that make them?
Well, let's see in the next video.
Oh wow, you got another one?
Yeah. In the next audio clip.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It
I'll
just
let you
changed your
go.
mind.
Okay. Go on.
It's Christine. He fell in love with Eden. People judge us because my fiance is trans and I'm straight. I started getting like random hate messages. Like, I want to live a nice, peaceful life. That's a man, wife, you mean boyfriend. Me calling that every 4 minutes when I check my phone, it just becomes like, you know what I mean? And all that trash and all that scum, they can all float down to the bottom. I definitely had some relationships just kind of fizzle out. Today, Christine's dad will be revealing what he thinks about the relationship. Did I ever tell you that Eden's trans? My name's Christian. I've lost friends because I'm engaged to my trans fiance, Eden. So we met 2 years ago. Christian's a teacher, and I saw one of his students post a video of him on TikTok. I don't want to interrupt y'all's conversation. I'll wait. Thought he was cute. Slid in the DMs. Within a week, he was in my house, and within a day, he got my name tattooed on him. I know in the beginning, like, a lot of my family was like taken back by a relationship. I'm not sure it was like you being trans though. I think it was because like it happened so fast. About a month after that, we got engaged. And a month after that, he moved in with his son. Yeah, a lot of people just thought it was like for clout. As soon as Eden slid into my DMs, about 2 messages later, we hop on FaceTime and she immediately tells me she's trans. And like being from Texas, I didn't really know what that is or what that's about. It's like, it doesn't bother me, whatever. Even before you transition, I would say you're like the most masculine boy I've ever seen. To be honest with you. I transitioned around 18, 19. I pretty much always thought I was different, but I didn't have the right words to articulate my feelings until I saw a trans person on TV. And that's when I realized, like, oh my god, like, this is me. A lot has changed, but, like, I can still see myself in this. This was probably the last photo you'll see of me as in boy mode. Does that came out? This is a point where, like, if I saw you on Tinder or something, like, I would definitely be floating, right? You know what I mean? Like, ooh! Does it feel weird, like, looking at that and knowing that is your fiance? This is not like what I'd be typically physically attracted to. And physical attraction is really important in relationships. Like, I can tell you have a kind soul. I went into this relationship super open-minded. I like her, she's cute. And then, like, I started getting, like, random hate messages. And, like, I had never experienced something like that. Like, I lived my entire life as a white cis male. I didn't really get a lot of, like, random hate. I was just a TikTok teacher. Cringe? I know you did not just call my video cringe because I've seen the way your mom comments on my video. Why do people think they can wear crop tops as a teacher? I agree. Like, look at this. I started advocating for LGBT students a lot more. I do not want your children to be gay. I do not want your children to be straight. I want your children to be happy. People ask very inappropriate questions, like super out of pocket. Like, you would never ask these questions in real life. I can't blame them for being curious, but I'm not going to ask a random person about their genitalia. The biggest misconception people have is that he's gay and I'm a man. Yes, I know it's okay to be gay. Of course it is. But, like, you calling me gay insinuates that Eden is a man, which is not okay. If he wants to be with a man, he will go be with a man.
Okay. So
How does she look?
she looks very passable.
Okay.
And they look like Ken and Barbie.
Okay. Now he's straight, right?
Yeah, he's straight.
Okay, and he's I don't know. For me, I just feel like the debate with that is
What's the debate?
because it's almost like I don't even know if I want to say debate. I just feel like he wants to be called straight, and he's marrying someone who's transgender.
He's already married her.
Okay, he's already married to her. She's passable and stuff like that. Okay, now does she have the full surgery?
It doesn't say in the video.
Okay, I mean, and I don't want to make it all about the surgery, but see, I just he was like, I don't care if that makes that man happy,
It does.
and if that makes that transgender woman happy, then more power to them. Regardless regardless if she still has her male genitalia, and of course they gotta have sex, the anal, whatever makes them happy. I don't know what else to say. I mean, whatever makes them happy. To me, I feel like what people are trying to do is block the happiness of other people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and that's not right,
No, it's not right. I mean, and again, if I don't, and again, because again, it's almost like saying, okay, if she still has her male genitalia and they're having sexual relations, then they're having anally. Yeah, some people would say, well, doesn't that make him gay? I mean, if he's never had gay sex, like I said,
what difference does it make if she got her genital region snipped or if she did not? What difference would that make?
So basically, what you're saying,
as long as she looks passable.
No, to me, I don't care. But see, I just feel like, to me, it should be nobody's business. To me, then I don't feel that. See, I don't even want to say they shouldn't be telling people. They're allowed to tell people whatever they want to tell them. But I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like I said, because. So because the way you're saying it to me is like, okay, regardless if she has her male genitalia, and they have sex anally. Yes. Yes. Okay, like I said, if I ran into her and her husband on the street and whatever, I'd be like, that's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's a man and a woman. But see, then again, I guess there's an argument to be brought up about, I guess, those who are not passable. I don't know. I don't care.
You don't care.
Yeah, no, like when the guys used to come to your parties and I was there and they asked me 50 million questions, like, are they completely transitioned? Or are they passable? I'm like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God. I'm just like, just come and see for yourself.
Yeah,
Because and I'm not gonna name the person, but when you had, she was very passable, come to the party, and I watched this one guy, and he left, and he came back because she came there, because she was very passable, and I said, oh, that's why you came back, huh? Because at the end of the day, yes, she was very passable, she had breasts, perky little breasts, she still had her manhood and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
These guys who are presenting themselves to the world as straight, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Does it? I mean, to me, I feel like does it make you feel good as this quote unquote that you like to call yourself straight have sex with somebody that presents themselves as a girl, but you're still having anal sex with them? I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, it's like whatever makes you. I feel like we need. See again, I feel like we need to get over sexuality, and people just like what they like.
Yeah, I think we just get. I think we need to get over sexuality. I mean, sexuality is fluid.
I mean, the only pushback I'll give to that is that okay. Because, see, again, I get when we say that, but let's not act like there aren't real heterosexuals and real homosexuals.
I mean, yeah, there are.
Yeah. So, there are people who are straight down the middle, they don't cross no lines or anything, but if somebody happens to be really straight and they meet a transgender female that they like and they end up having relations, why do we care? That's them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the argument for the video, I just feel like where you were going to get a lot of pushback or derogatory comments is because it says she's trans looking for a straight man, and a lot of people looked at it like the guy's not really straight if he's going after
Yeah,
you because
I get that.
because in their eyes they still see you as a
That's a man.
guy.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Now,
that's why.
if anyone who watches this video or who watched the previous Kendra video wants to give me some money to do surgery, get big breasts and get my body
Yes,
done,
we'll set up a GoFundMe.
then do that.
I get it. I mean, but to me, it shouldn't even be. I mean, I know we're making a joke. It shouldn't be about all that. I'm just saying. Okay, yeah, you probably could have worded it worded it different for the sake of, the mean comments and all that other stuff, the rebuttal videos. But at the end of the day, you're looking for what you're looking for, and I don't. I mean, I really don't see a problem with it. But just know that the people are always going to have something to say.
Yeah, I know they're
People,
gonna have something to say.
yeah, they're always going to have something to say about something. It's like it is. I mean, yeah, there's no pleasing anybody. At the end of the day, you have to be happy.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why. Like when I came out to my mother, I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna tell her if she accepts me, cool. But if they don't, they all can go to hell. I mean, that was it. I mean, because to me, yeah, it was just that's why, knowing young people, I commend a lot of young people that have come out. And they'll tell me, oh yeah, I came out when I was like 12. Where, if you want to say, other generations, they waited till they were older, and stuff like that. And to me, you should be able to live your full, be your full self.
Yeah.
This constant hiding, it becomes a pain.
Yeah, it is constant hiding.
It becomes a pain.
And that's why I told you need to come out.
No, and again, and like I said, after a couple of years, yeah, no, I did. When I met you, I was what, 21 years old. Yeah, but I want to say what, 2, 3 years later. Yeah, I told my mother because I used to lie so many times. Oh, I'm going to hang out with my other friend. I said, what if this friend comes over one day? My mother's gonna be like, oh, he was with you. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think every person in the LGBT community has their moment of acceptance. Like, this is me, this is who I am, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Some come out earlier than others, and people gotta be happy at the end of the day. That's the way I look at it. It's like, people worrying about other people, who they love and all that other stuff. I don't know. It's just a waste of time. And then but it's also that it'll be that religious stigma, behind it because people, oh, it's a sin and it's all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't you save me, all right? Don't you try to save me. Mind your damn business.
Yeah, I mean, like, live and
That's why I always say that saying, live and let live, because it is. Just if it's not affecting you, that's it.
yeah,
I know plenty of people who are, gay and they believe in God.
yeah. I
And
do
to me, I
too.
mean, yeah, no, and again, what, I'm not taking nobody's religion from them and stuff like that. I always say, what, when you pass on and you go before judgment, whatever, I would hope that if there is a God, God judges you for how you lived as a human being, not who you loved or who you stuck your pee in or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's if there is a God.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even at the same time, because people. I mean, even those, I mean, every gay person, is always, people love throwing Leviticus at gay people all the damn time.
Mm.
And you hear people talk about the Bible. Oh, well, the Bible was written by man, influenced by God. Well, shit, if it was written by man, it could have been a man who wrote the Bible who just didn't like that men slept with other men, and he put that in there. God said it.
And the Bible was originally translated by a bunch of white people.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, it's like, come on. It's like, it's like, come on. And gay people. I remember when I was in a museum, the Museum of what was it, Natural History. I was in their bookshop, and they had a book on. No, I mean, I don't want to say it was called, homosexuality through the ages, but homosexuality has been here as long as man. I mean, like, we've existed.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're some damn speech. We've always been here. It's just that people have lived in fear and lived in hiding, and stuff like that. And to me, people should, be able to live in their true selves.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, we reached the end of our video.
Okay.
So remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll talk next week. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.